Hello, today I have a kind of a light video about 5 things that I enjoy doing less here in France than I did in the United States. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new here, welcome. And if you enjoy content about moving abroad, life in France, or finding the confidence and courage to live life on your terms, this is your channel. Be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell. So each time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. I'm Patricia Brooks. Back in 2018, I decided it was time for me to leave the United States and move to the south of France so that I could find myself, so that I could have new experiences, and so that I could become fluent in French. And I have done all of that. And it's been an amazing experience. However, there are some things that aren't so pleasant for me to do here. And I wanted to talk about those today. All right. Now, last week, I needed some things at the grocery store. And I woke up and I thought, I'll go for my morning walk and then I will go to the grocery store and pick those things up. A little bit tired, so I started on my morning walk, and I decided I was going to cut my morning walk short and just go to the grocery store and get the things I needed. The thing was, I kind of forgot that, the grocery store wouldn't be open until 8:45 a.m. And I started my walk at about 8 a.m. So cutting my walk short, I got to the grocery store 25 minutes before it opened, right? I really needed these things. So I pulled up a curb, sat down, and waited the 25 minutes. Now, I'd done this one other time when I first arrived in France, thinking that the stores would be open at least by 8, but that wasn't the case, and I hadn't done it since. So it's been a long time since I did this thing, but I was like, yeah, that thing. Funny thing was, 5 minutes after I got there, it's a guy who I've seen walking on my street. He lives here. He got to the grocery store early too. And he pulled up a curb and he sat down and he waited as well. But we weren't alone. 5 or 10 minutes later, there were about 5, 6 other people who showed up to the grocery store waiting for the grocery store to open. By 8:40, there were probably 18 of us out there waiting for the store to open. And I don't know why they all got there as early as they did. I don't know if they just wanted to get there before there was too many people at the grocery store, if they had forgotten, if they had cut their walk short, or if maybe it's a thing they do. They go and hang out, but they didn't seem to be talking. It seemed like they just wanted to get to the grocery store and be in and do shopping a little bit earlier than the grocery store was open. So that's one reason that I enjoy grocery shopping far less in France. But there are many other reasons. Second reason is customer service. If I can't find something in an aisle, somebody is much less likely to come and help me find it. They'll just point or they'll tell me the aisle. And that was the case early on. A couple weeks ago, I was looking for something desperately. I saw it on their online store, so I thought they had it. And so I kind of was advocating for myself, and I got them to come out from behind the counter and come and help me look. And they looked in one section, and it was the section I was looking in. And then they went to another section that I hadn't looked in. I thought, maybe it's here. And it wasn't. And I thanked the person profusely, because that is not something that I have typically had happen to me here in France. That customer service is just different here than it is in the United States. And that same day that I got to the grocery store super early, when I did enter, there were people working in the aisles stocking shelves, right? And so that's another reason that it's not really that pleasant to go grocery shopping, especially if there are more people, shoppers shopping, but people stocking aisles too. And maybe you need something that is exactly where they're stocking something. This has happened to me. They're not going to get out of your way so that you can do your shopping. Right. So in the United States, they have stockers overnight so that is less of an issue. Right. Those are some reasons that I enjoy going to the grocery store less than the United States. Well, there's more. So the same day that I got to the store early, I loaded my stuff on the conveyor belt. I went through the line. I was like probably the second person this woman had to check out. She didn't look too thrilled to be there that morning. And she checked me out. I put my things in my bag. I told her it was by debit card. I scanned my debit card. And then I said, oh, and by the way, I'm going to need a receipt because in the last 2 months, grocery stores have stopped wanting to give me a paper receipt. First, you needed to ask for it. Then they just stopped giving it. And then that very day, the woman said, oh, well, before you pay, you have to ask for the receipt. Now, I don't know if people in France just don't return things. I don't know how they track their debit card purchases, but I like to have the receipt in the event I need to return something. And I like to have the receipt, especially when I'm using my debit card, so that I can track things. But so now this is something else that makes me enjoy going grocery shopping less than I do in the United States. All right, enough about grocery shopping. The second thing that I enjoy less here in France than in the United States is staying at an Airbnb type accommodation. Now, I've had some successes here in France where they have had sheets and towels. But the very last time I stayed in an Airbnb when I went to the mountains, they did not have sheets. They did not have towels. Okay. And so for me, I'm thinking, I'm coming on vacation. Why in the world would there not be sheets and towels? My friend, my language exchange partner, said to me, oh yeah, there's some Airbnbs that don't have that. And if you want it, you have to pay extra. But I didn't see that anywhere on the site that I needed to ask for sheets and pay extra for sheets. I very much would have, because sleeping on a mattress cover under some blankets was just not the most comfortable thing for me to do. But it really turned me off on the experience. And so that is something that I will not do again, or if I do, I will make sure that if I have to ask for sheets and pay for them, that is something that I do. Now, on my recent trip to Barcelona, I needed a refrigerator and a cooktop, and I decided to go with an apart hotel so that I could be sure to have towels and sheets. So that was taken care of. But yeah, that's not something I enjoy doing here, because if there's a question about it, it's like, am I going to have sheets, or am I going to have to tote my sheets? And in fact, my friend Karine said it was getting ready to go on vacation, and she was packing up all the sheets and the towels for her family so she could stay in this Airbnb. And I'm like, that's not a vacation if you've got to pack stuff like that. Anyway, that's another thing, right? The third thing has to do with sheets as well. And making my bed here in France is far less enjoyable than it was in the United States. You might be saying, what's different? Well, one thing is that I make my bed with a fitted sheet and with a flat top sheet, all right? And many French people just have the fitted sheet, and then they have the duvet with the duvet cover, and that's how they make their bed. They don't have anything between the duvet and the duvet cover and their body. And to me, that's not a made bed. That is a bed missing a sheet. But the good thing is I can find flat sheets here in France. That's wonderful. The bad thing is that these sheets are much, 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 much too big. There's too much material in these sheets. And so what that means is that I've got 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet of extra material that I've got to tuck at the foot of the bed. And it makes making the bed difficult. It's not very neat. And when I was 17 years old, I was a candy striper for my community hospital. So I know how to make hospital corners. And with the amount of sheet here that I have on my flat sheet, it is impossible to make it neat. So I was sharing this with my friend Karine during a language exchange conversation. And she's like, oh yeah, when I was little, we had the fitted sheet and the flat sheet, as well as a comforter. And she's like, and my parents still do, but I no longer have that. I just have the duvet with the duvet cover, and it's so much easier, right? And I said to her, I'm not buying that BS. And this was during the English part of our exchange, and I had to describe what BS was for her so she would understand. And she smiled and she giggled, because anybody who has used a duvet and put it into a duvet cover has probably wrangled with it because you've got this big oversized comforter that you're stuffing into a narrow hole of a duvet cover, and you got to put it in the right way, and it just takes forever, and you get all sweaty doing it, or at least I did, and it's not an easy undertaking. But she said it was simpler. I said, no, not buying it. One thing she did say to me was, well, I think French people, what they do with the top sheet is that they fold it down at the top of the bed where the pillows go. And that was something that I wasn't doing. So this morning I changed my sheets and I made the bed that way, and I turned the top down. And it was much easier to tuck in. But we'll see tonight how comfortable it is to have extra fabric over the top part of my body, if I'm going to be too warm with that or not. But it was easier to make the bed that way. So, and sometimes I wonder, am I being punished because I like that top sheet and it's just not in vogue? Anyway, making my bed is another thing that is less pleasant here for me in France than in the United States. All right. Number 4 has to do with going to the doctors. Now, I don't think anybody enjoys going to the doctors, because typically if you go, you're sick, or, it's just something you have to do. But I don't like going to the doctors, maybe a little bit in part because of the language barrier, but I think that's less and less of a factor now. In fact, when my friend visited me recently, she fell ill, and she had to have a video consultation with a French doctor who spoke no English. And so I was her translator, and I was able to advocate for her. I was able to be insistent. To have a video consultation instead of a chat conversation, because that would not have gone well. I was insistent and was able to express how she felt in a forceful manner. So I don't think it's a language barrier anymore. The thing that makes going to the doctor for me so much less enjoyable than in the United States is the wait time. I will book an appointment for a certain time, and I've had to wait an hour and a half. One time I had to wait 2 hours past my scheduled appointment to see the doctor. And to me, that's just too much. And it's frustrating, and it's a waste of my time, and I don't enjoy that. So one thing I have found is that my doctor does do video consultations, so I will book one of those, and he is on time for those. And so that is a trick that I use, but I don't like going to the doctor in person if I got to wait an hour and a half or 2 hours to see the doctor for 15 or 20 minutes. Doesn't make me feel real good. And the fifth and final thing that I enjoy doing less here in France than in the United States, is driving. And I think I've shared this with you before in other videos. I'm not going to harp on this, go down the list really pretty quickly. The streets are more narrow. They can be windy. Sometimes people don't respect the line in the middle of the street. There have been a number of times I've been going around a corner and somebody's been coming around a corner, and they're on my side of the street and I'm on my side of the street. And I'm wondering, are they going to get over in time before they hit me? And it just seems kind of be this casual sort of thing. And it's startling. It's jarring. I think, oh yes, they're always going to get over, and hopefully they do. And so far they have. But it's jarring to have somebody in your lane, and sometimes well in your lane. I think it's less pleasant for me to drive here as well, because there are more motorcycles, and the motorcycles oftentimes like to weave in and out. And in the beginning, I wasn't so aware that that was going to be a thing. And so the first several times it happened, it was like, ooh, it just really kind of put me on high alert, and it really tensed me up. And then sometimes they'll do that. I'm at the round point, and they'll kind of come up to the round point or the circle or the roundabout, and they'll be right next to me when they weren't before. And I'm looking at the traffic in the circle. I'm not expecting somebody to come up beside me and hop in next to me, right? And so that can be jarring. And then I think The final reason that driving in France for me is less pleasant is because of all of the roundabouts, although I'm getting pretty good at them because I saw a video that said there are more roundabouts in France than in any other country. She didn't know how many roundabouts there were in France, but I believe that she's right. All right, so those are 5 things I enjoy doing less here in France than I did in the United States. Which one of those surprises you the most? Or which one of those would bother you the most? Let me know in the comments. Now, living abroad has been a really good experience, even though there's some things that are inconvenient or are not to my liking. And I wouldn't change a thing. But if you're thinking about making a move abroad and you're hearing some things that might be a little bit upsetting to you or challenging for you, you might be questioning your idea or your thought about making a move abroad. And if that's the case, I'd love to have a conversation to see why it is you want to make a move abroad and what things might be holding you back or might be concerning you about making a move abroad, so that we can see, number 1, if moving abroad is right for you, but number 2, if working with me and helping move through some of the challenges or building a move abroad mindset so that you can really enjoy your time in your dream country is right for you. So if that sounds like something that would be great for you, check out the link to my calendar in the description where you can find a time for us to talk. And I look forward to meeting you. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.